Welcome to our 10th session of our training on how to develop your product, market it, and sell it to the marketplace. My name is Simon Mbui Kayekesi. As usual, we normally start with us going through our slogans, and also I do a recap for the sake of you who are just joining for the first time today, so that we can be able to be brought to the same pace. And also for those of you who have been following me from the very beginning, it is actually a recap. Is basically for you and I to oil our minds. And our first slogan has been the slogan, if you do I owe value to be exchanged for value in the marketplace? And basically we have said that I need to possess value to exchange it for value in the marketplace. So that is the basis of what we have been saying as our slogan, that you and I need to own value. And do I want to be wealthy on earth? Yes. If I want to be wealthy here on earth, I have to own a product, own the marketing, own the sales, and own the profits. And we have established that this is the basis of you becoming a business owner, a person who has gone into business in order for him or her to be able to position himself or herself in the profit position. Given now I believe it has become a popular equation, the economics of work, profit is equal to revenue minus cost. So basically, you and I need to become business owners in order for us to be able to enjoy the benefits that a business owner gets from positioning himself or herself in the profit position, as opposed to those benefits that go to an employee who ends up positioning himself or herself in the cost position. So basically, we are talking about you and I becoming a business owner. And as a business owner, we are saying you can't own a business without you owning a product. So then we are talking about from product development to putting money into your pocket, and that you have to go through the product trinity called, which is product development, product marketing, and product sales. So basically, you and I need to move in that direction. And I think we are already now familiar with the fact that you and I, on how we need to develop market and sell our products, we need, number one, to use God is heaven, earth, creation trinity for your product development, marketing, and sales. This is where we have our popular scripture now, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19 to 20, where God used wisdom for building, he used the understanding for establishing, and knowledge for filling and populating the earth. And that you and I are supposed to use the same ingredients according to Proverbs chapter 24, verse 3 through to verse 3 through to 5. And within there, I have continuously been quoting the formula: reality plus preciousness is equal to value, which is equal to worth, which is equal to wealth, where we have established that you and I need to become rare, even us as individuals, And basically, our products, our reality and our preciousness will be seen in the products that we end up producing. So therefore, you and I need to use God's model for doing business, and that is doing business God's way. And number two, we said that you need to know the size of why of the product development, marketing, and sales with regard to benefits. So basically, you need to know the benefits. And we had the two big product benefit questions. What are the perceived benefits to you as the producer of the product, and what are the perceived benefits to the consumers or the buyers of your product or your service? And number three, we said you should know why you should develop, market, and sell your product. And then number four, we established that you need to value your value. Don't devalue your value. Value your value highly. And valuing your value highly starts from the fact that you look at yourself as being somebody who is worth much more than maybe you are getting as at now, in terms of what people are able to bring into your life. In the 90th session, I talked about a young man that came to me, and he was giving me feedback on what he has got from the employer in your book after he went to read the book. And he talked about the fact that he has discovered himself. And he summarized that as for those of you who were there, as you may recall, and those of you who were not there, the young man summarized what he got from the book as discovering himself, then developing himself, and then from there, repositioning himself. Then now he goes into value addition. And value addition, this is the one we are talking about as product development. And then he was saying that when you have value, which you bring out in form of your product or your service, which is precious and rare, then he established that value will start following you. Instead of you chasing value, value will start chasing you. In short, money will start coming to you because people will be looking for your value, and they will start paying you for giving them that value which you have ended up producing. So the next point is that the number four, we said aim for product sales as the ultimate. A sale is the ultimate. If you and I will fail to sell, then we shall sleep hungry, even when we have a product. But others actually sleep hungry, not because they fail to sell, but because they don't even have a product worth selling. So the first thing first, you and I need to have a product. You and I need to have a service. Like I've been emphasizing in terms of a product, I've been saying I have my book here, for example. This is my product. What I'm sharing with you now in this training that I'm giving is a product, and I have already come up with now there are 40 products that I've developed, seminars and trainings and seminars. And I've already, of course, for your own information, if you go to my YouTube page, Simon Kayekesi, you'll find I've already posted the products which are training and seminars. And also on the other YouTube page, the Employer in Your YouTube page, I've already posted my my products in form of trainings and seminars. These are the products and services. These are the products that I am now going to market by me putting it on YouTube to start with. That is one of the first steps for marketing. But I need to make more noise and tell the world, let the world know that I am there with my products. If I will keep quiet, it doesn't matter how precious and rare my products are, I risk sleeping hungry. And that is one of those things we should never we should not never allow as product producers. We then talked about you and I being conscious of being a problem solver using your value. That was number 5. And then number 6, we went to the fact that you need to look at your product as a solution in the marketplace, and that it is your value offer. And maybe here, let me talk about a quote I've made from the late man of God, Miles Monroe. He says, the key to success is first of all, not to seek success. The key to success is to become a person of value. The more valuable you make yourself, the more successful you become in life. Stop trying to be a success. Try to become valuable. So that's the message. The key to success is first of all not to seek success, but to become a person of value. So stop trying to be a success. Try to become valuable. So the question you and I need to be asking ourselves right away is, how valuable am I to the marketplace? And the next point was use problems around and beyond you to solve market challenges. Then we looked at use God's problem-solving approach to come up with market solutions, and then rise to the occasion. That's number 9. To the occasion to be a problem solver. Quit the complaining camp. And then number 10, which we concentrated on in the last meeting which we had in the 9th session which we had. We looked at you can use the flip side. You can use the flip side of problems or challenges to develop, market, and sell your product or your service. And we were saying the flip side of problems, challenges, or crisis is solutions. So then you look at solutions, and solutions basically look within yourself. You look within yourself and around yourself and say, what are the forms of capital, potential capital, that I can be able to use to translate into cash. And that, I think you remember the other time I'd given out what I've called the Kayekesi Perez-Simon equation for wealth creation and acquisition, where you look at things like your human capital, you talk of your social capital, you talk of your experience, people around you as your capital. I think I've already mentioned the experience. We're talking about resource endowments, what God has put in the earth. And just next year, just by your nose, so to say, or just in your backyard, and what God has put across your country and even beyond. And this is why I was talking about us thanking God for globalization and technology, that actually even resources that would have been far away, you can be able to access those resources and use them for your benefit. And the other point I think that we had talked about is imitate God by having confidence in your product. Be the first to say it is good, then very, very good. Of course, we had looked at this one earlier before the one that I just referred to. Now, for us to go a step further today, let's look at number 12. Number 12 is talking about be clear about customer expectations and yours to know their business power and business effect. And basically, what am I saying here? Customer expectations and your expectations, including other stakeholders' expectations, have a powerful effect on business outcomes, business results, and business impact. So basically, as you produce your product or your service, as you design it and go into producing your product or service, you need to focus on customer expectations and your expectations. So you have to make sure you focus on that. And for us to shed more light on this, you remember we had talked about the fact that you need to know the two sides of why of the product development, marketing, and sales with regard to benefits. And we established that you have the two big market, the two big product benefit questions. And these questions are, what are the perceived benefits to you as the producer of the product, and what are the perceived benefits to the consumers or buyers of your product? Now, related to this is this point we are looking at, the issue of expectations. Expectations have a business power embedded in them. And also for expectations, I've come up with two sides of the two sides of the of expectations. That is the producer and the consumer sides of expectations. On the consumer, let me start with the consumer side. On the consumer side, no, the producer side. On the producer side, the question is, what do I expect as the producer of the product? I think here we have established so far that as a producer of a product, your number one expectation is that when you produce your product or your service, your product is supposed to be able to solve the problems of the people out there whose problems you are solving, so that at the end of the day, like we have already established, you have the ultimate, and the ultimate being a sale. And when you make a sale, when you come to our popular equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost. Now here we are not talking about you positioning yourself as an employer or as an employee, but here we are talking about your expectation after you have gone out there with your product or service, and then you have done a sale. So when you have done a sale, for example, if my book, the cost of my book is, let's take it that it is 50 kwacha, and then I end up selling my book at 100 kwacha, then it means that in the equation, profit is equal to revenue minus profit is equal to revenue minus cost. It means that my profit shall be equal to 100 kwacha minus 50 kwacha, and my profit shall be 50 kwacha. In this case, maybe let's refer to it as being my gross profit. That will be my gross profit. So if I get that profit, that is my expectation as I go into business as a producer, as I go into producing a product. And of course, one of my expectations, like we already indicated, is to look at the impacts that I'm going to create in the lives of the people who are going to read the book. Like I was talking about the young man who came and gave me feedback about what he got, and he said he had discovered himself. That is my expectation. And that young man assured me that he was going to be to keep on coming to me to learn more and more and more. That's how you create buyers out there. Before this session, I just got a message from one of the young men from Lukulu district, where I had gone to take my product there, where I went to conduct a conference there for 4 days. And after that, the impact that I created in that place, I've continued experiencing that impact. And even before my coming to give this presentation, I got an SMS from one of the young men who is assuring me, after he just got the employer in your book today, and he said that he is going to do the best he could to become the employer that God created him to be. Those are my expectations. My expectations are also basically that I need, before I die, to influence my own wealth, which I've called a niche, and that's why my logo for my business it is having a statement. Our niche is our wealth. My expectation is that I need to have a constituency. I need to have people who are basically there, who are my constituents, and people are my constituents, and these people are the people who actually, at the end of the day, become my supporters. They can be able to invest into my life. They can be able to invest into my business through them buying my products. Others will go out there and market my products, go out there and talk about me. And then the other aspect is, now we come on the side of the question, on the side of the customers. What do I expect from my customers? What do I expect from my customers? And basically, the expectations from my customers is the fact that I expect my customers to be able to find my product or my service something they can be able to release their cash from their pocket and be able to put money into my pocket. Like I have said, that somebody has said that if you have a product, you can be able, that is of value, you start picking money from people's pockets without them calling you a thief. So what do I expect from my customers? I expect every person who comes in contact with me and knows and tests my product to be able to come again and say, I need another form of your product, or a different product from you, but coming from basically coming from you. I expect that if one can get this employer in your series 1, I expect a person to demand, my customers, to demand even series 2. The employer in you, the untold story, you were born an employer. And then after that, I expect my customers to come for the third series. The third series is what? The employer in you. Okay, you were born, and you were born telling the untold story. You were born, and you were born an employer. And again, I expect my customers, if they have tested my products, my 3 products so far, then they should be able to get back to me and say, we also want to consume from your product, which is my 4th series. And the 4th series being the employer in you, deploy the employer in you, and deploy the employer potential in you and dominate. And where I've put the picture of an eagle on the 4th series book, and I have said, you like an eagle are supposed to soar like into the skies like an eagle, releasing the potential, deploying yourself. I expect my customers, I expect my buyers to be able to be saying, what is the next product? What is the next product? You remember the other time I was talking about why up to this particular time, we still, people still drink Coca-Cola. They keep on drinking, they keep on, Zik Fanta, and so on. For many years, they keep on consuming that product. It means that at the end of the day, what has happened is that we have developed what is called customer loyalty for Coca-Cola, or be it Fanta, or any of those products from Coca-Cola. If you do not develop customer loyalty, then it means you reach a stage where you stop taking their products. And even myself, if my customers feel like my products are not helpful to them, then there is no way they would follow me. There will be no way people would want to listen to me speaking, even with my other products, the training the training products that I've said. I've already thrown them. I've already uploaded them on YouTube, and I'll be also be sharing them on the WhatsApp platforms where I am, and also on Facebook and many other platforms for me to be able to market those. The customers should be able to come back to me and tell me to say, hey, please, we need more of your products. The customers also should be able to give me feedback and tell me to say, please, we are very grateful for that thing that you communicated to us. It has changed my life. Like I've been talking about those two young men, and not only those. Every day I am getting testimonies from people who have listened to me, who have followed me on these the employer in your insights that I have been following, who have been coming back to me and saying thank you. Of course, I am very conscious. We may concentrate on this point in the next session. I am very conscious of the fact that there are those who may not never come back. And I call this the 90-10% principle of expected customer comeback, to say thank you. So what is the 90-10% principle of expected customer comeback? Those would be saying, those will be saying thank you. I am getting this story from the Bible about the 10 lepers who came for healing to Jesus Christ, and out of those 10 lepers, only one leper came back to say thank you to Jesus. And I am also conscious, and you should be conscious of you should be conscious of that as well. Be conscious of the fact that not every person may come back to you. Some customers will only buy from you once and they may never come back. But your fortune is in that one leper, the one who comes back and the one who is able to come and say thank you. Those are the people from whom you need to expect more to come out of you. And actually, on expectations on both you as a producer and also expectations on the part of the customers. I have also another very important story from the Bible. In the Bible, in Luke chapter 19, verse 27 to 29, at one particular point, Peter was able to ask Jesus and said, Jesus, look at it. We've left all we had. What is there? What is there for us? And Jesus said, none of you who has left wife or father or mother and left all that which you counted as important shall not go without. Meaning that Christ is telling his disciples that actually, I know your expectations. You are not following me because you just want to follow me. You are following me because I understand the importance of expectations. There's something I'm expecting from you, which is you following me up. And I know that you are also expecting something from me. And he says, those of you who have been able to follow me, I can assure you, in this life, you shall have a 100-fold, and in the life to come, eternal life. And I believe this was a business assurance of coming from this greatest businessman. I call Jesus Christ to be the greatest business person who ever lived here on earth. He was able to assure his co-workers. Actually, even when they were disciples, he was able to tell them to say, I no longer treat you as my servants. I treat you as my friends. The Peters and the other disciples became his business friends. And he said, I can assure you in this, those of you who have left very, very important, important things which you have counted as loss in order to follow me, in order to make an investment into me, he's telling them to say, your return on investment is a high return on investment. In this life, you shall have, in this life, you shall be able to have 100-fold, and in the life to come, eternal life. Sure, who cannot follow? Unless somebody who lacks understanding, somebody who is blind, somebody who has no eyes. But if somebody has understood that assurance from this businessman, he says, this is your share from this, from you being part of this business, from this business undertaking, then in that case, sure, a person would be able to to decide to put in his best. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that in the same way that we have Jesus Christ here, and then the Peters who were the disciples, of course, we may treat them as his partners in terms of working together with him, but also at the same time, we can also look at them as being customers to Jesus Christ. They are the ones who are able to buy into the products for the Lord Jesus Christ. You remember at one particular time, if you come to the Bible again, in John chapter 6, when Jesus Christ said that those of you who have to follow me, you can eat, you can be able to eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. A good number of the customers were able to turn away from Jesus Christ and go away. And then Jesus was able to ask them again a question. Your friends have gone. The majority have gone. Why can't you live and go as well? And if I'm not mistaken, I think it should have been the same man, Peter, who was able to say, hey, Lord, where can we go? As we are with you now and forever. Now, if you can be able as a product producer to have products where you have men and women like Peter, who can be able to say, where can we go? We are with you for life. We'll continue buying your products. We'll continue following you up. Sure. What else would you be looking for? And this is where I have talked about the 10%, the 90, 10%, the 90, 10% principle. So not every person will remain to be, yes, some people buy from your product, they will benefit, they may never come back to you. But your focus, your fortune, the people that you need to make sure you pay much attention to them, just like in the story of our Lord Jesus Christ. The people that you need to make sure you pay attention to them more than in most cases, like more than the 90%. Those, in fact, they may never come back. If they come back, thank God. But the ones that you need to focus on is your 10%. That one person. Have you found that one person somewhere? That customer, that one person, we are saying 1 out of 9 times 100 gives us the 10%. So in this case, let's talk about your 10%. That is where your fortune is. That is where your product fortune will come from the 10%. Those buyers who are able, those customers who, when you interact with them, you make a difference in their lives. That is, you may interact with them personally, or you may be able to interact with them by them getting your product. I think as I'm speaking now, I'm being reminded of a man who was able to call me all the way from Luwingu in I think that should be, yes, in northern province. I think he told me it's Lunte constituents, which I think he also told me is now a district. That man was on a bus moving from Lunte, going to Lusaka, and on the bus, he was able to see again the book, The Employer in You, make a banana, repositioning yourself from having an employee mind to having an employer mind. And when he got this book, he said he read the book. He saw a person with this book on the bus. And then he asked the person to say, can you please let me have a look at the book? And the person was able to give him the book. And according to him, fortunately, he was able to read the book all the way up to Lusaka. And at the time when he was disembarking from the bus, he was able to give the book back to a person who already, the person who at that particular point was the owner of the book. And then he got my details. That was sometimes last year, I think somewhere in November or so. And where he was going, he said he lost the notebook in which he had written my details. And he wanted to make sure he connects with me. But then some 6-7 months later, he was able, I think more than six months, he was able to find the notebook, and he ended up calling me. And he called me, interesting enough, and I've never heard a man tell me the way this man told me. He said, are you Mr. Kayekesi? I said, yes. He said, actually, I've been looking for you. I came across you through your book on a bus, and I wanted to talk to you. And I must assure you, with effect from now, you are now part of my vision. I asked myself in my mind, say now, how can I be part of a vision for a person that I've never met before? He kept on explaining, actually, he said, whether you like it or not, you are part of my vision. And he explained what he meant by saying I had become part of his vision. According to him, because what he read from the book, he saw himself, his vision in what I was talking about in the book. And as we are speaking now, that man is committed to me. We communicate, I communicate with him, and we actually even agreed one of these days, I might end up maybe traveling to go to Lunte, specifically to go and meet him. Or one of these days, he himself might end up traveling here in Sorezi, or we might end up meeting in Lusaka, or wherever we can be able to meet. Why? Because this man came across my product, the Employer in You. When he tested it, then he was able to have what is called in business customer loyalty. I believe he is among my 10% from the healing that I am able to give out there to my customers out there. And it is from the 10% that going forward, I will be able to concentrate on and do what I can be able to do as a product owner or service owner. So for today, we are going to end here. What are we saying? We are saying that business expectations are very, very powerful on your side as a producer and on the side of the consumers. Business expectations. Look for business expectations on the side of your consumers and on the side of